that film always, you know, when the first time I sat just like you guys are in the living room today, that film really like woke me up. And I thought, you know, I've been taking vitamins all my life. Do you guys get the fact that, you know, when they were talking about vitamins versus whole foods, does everybody understand that? What's the difference? Because when I was sitting like you, I had no clue. I had no clue. So does everybody understand the difference between a fractionated vitamin and whole foods? Okay, good. You guys are smart. So with that said, how many here on a scale of 1 to 10 feels like their health is a 10? Except for the Juice Plusers. So, no, okay, how about a 5? Anybody a 5? Okay. 6 or 7? Okay. Well, how many people would love to be a 10 in health, right? Everything that Jamie was talking about was definitely a way to prevent disease in the future, and it is about prevention. So when they talk about a plate full of, you know, your fruits and veggies and, you know, a little bit of protein and a little bit of carbs and all of that, and we've been hearing it for years and years and years. But the more you hear about it now than back in the, you know, early 80s, 90s, it's now, we want your plate every single day to be colorful. Not brown, not white, but colorful, right? So that's what we're talking about tonight. So what I'm going to have to do now, Sherry, is tell your story. Because Sherry came in about a year and a half ago and very sick, and she's going to let you know what happened with her. But Sherry, tell your story.
Sure. So a year and a half ago, I was suffering from an autoimmune disease, and I was really, really sick with, I mean, you name it and I had it. My hair was falling out. My hormones were off every month. I was extremely tired. I had vertigo. My voice was like froggy. I couldn't think clearly. And I was anemic. And I had new bruises every single day. I knew if I went to my doctor that they would tell me that I needed to get on prescriptions. So I went through a naturopath who did all of my blood work that I had to pay $500 for. They told me how all my organs worked and then gave me a bunch of supplements. So I was probably taking 20 or 30 a day and spending hundreds a month, and I never felt any different. And I couldn't remember to take them all. So I have 3 kids, and it was too much. And at the same time, I was running an Etsy shop. So if any of you have heard of Etsy, I made my own baby clothes, and I was trying to do that because we've always struggled to be able to make all of our bills. And my husband has a job, but it's just with living in this area, it just never provided enough. So I've cleaned houses, I've done hair, I've done everything I can to help out, and an Etsy shop was kind of the other resort. So I did that for 5 years. It was successful enough. Definitely helped us be able to get our kids into extra things. But when this was brought to me, I just wasn't really sure I wanted to get on it, because what's to say that it's not going to be a waste of money like all the other stuff. And the girl had told me that I should sell it, and I was like, I don't sell things. I've never sold a thing, and I just don't do that, and that's not my personality. So I avoided her for a couple months, and she was my personal trainer. So anytime I saw her, which was like 4 times a week, I just didn't want to talk to her about that. Like, I'm okay with her telling me about Juice Plus, because I knew eventually I might try it. But I didn't know how I was going to, because my husband has lost his job over a dozen times. And it's been really hard for us financially, because I didn't know when he was going to be able to get a layoff. Was he going to lay off again? I cannot add another bill. So it took 2 months, and eventually I said, well, you know what? Right now I'm either going to get on prescription drugs or I'm going to try it. So I stopped all the supplements I was taking. I signed up to sell the product and take the product the same day, but it's only because I wanted to tell my mom about it. I wanted my parents on it, because I just felt really convinced that I wanted them to live a long, healthy life. And my next door neighbor was interested, so that's the only reason, and I wanted a discount so I can afford it. But what I didn't know was, after a couple weeks, all these little bumps that I've always had on my arm were gone. And my anemia was like immediately gone. And after 7 weeks, all of the symptoms that I had from my autoimmune disease were gone. And I felt like I had a whole new life. And because of that, I couldn't stop telling people. So then now, the more I learned about it, I was telling my friends, because here I am also with 3 kids that were sick every month. We'd go through a season and they'd have the flu treat 3 times. And my son was constipated and bleeding, and all the doctors were saying is take this prescription, take that prescription. I'd give him prune juice and he wouldn't drink it, or he'd drink it and it wouldn't help. But since he started taking Juice Plus, he has not had a problem since the day he started. and he also has eczema cleared up. And then my kids, my oldest son hasn't been sick once in almost 2 years. My middle son's been sick twice, and it was lessened. All the other kids got bronchitis, pneumonia. My doctor doesn't even know who we are anymore. Like, he knows of us because we went all the time, but now he's just kind of like, haven't seen you in a while. So that's great because he's also a very holistic type person. He's telling me about oils and stuff. So it's great. So this whole thing has been a huge blessing. Like, I'll take it the rest of my life. And then the business side was definitely not something that I wanted, but something I so needed. And to be able to be a part of, able to change people's lives has been huge. And I mean, now I make up more than half of my husband's income, and that's just kind of crazy too. So, yeah. But sorry.
Thank you. So I love Sherry's story because it's not only about like cancer, it's about autoimmune, it's about just, you know, feeling good. But Juice Plus is not a miracle pill like she was talking about. It's something that we're so depleted in. And most people, like, you know, Tracy over here, she always ate good. I mean, she's just a really clean eater. Me, I mean, I'm the first one to say I used to eat French fries, hot dogs, hamburgers, you know, and I was just a junk food junkie. But what happened is when I started putting it in my body, that's when it changed over to so, like, my body was so nutritionally depleted that no wonder I was breaking out. But I didn't understand the correlation between nutrition and non-nutrition, right? So all the processed foods that we're eating today, they're only hurting us. They're not doing any good for us. And that's why I really just sit here today in the living room and just, if you don't get anything out of this at all, but one thing, is to read your labels and make sure there's no partially hydrogenated oils on the back, and to eat more fruits and vegetables like you've never eaten before, okay? Because the more you eat, the better your body's gonna feel. So what I'm gonna do now is just tell you actually what is in Juice Plus. So you saw that little film, but the neat thing about it is we get this, and this is the Juice Plus. So you saw those little bottles. This is our vineyard, this is our garden, and this is our orchard, okay? Now when you read the back of this, I'm gonna let you guys, you know, look at the bottles, but the back of it is not a supplement, it's a nutritional label, okay? That doesn't say that on a vitamin. So again, this is just fruits and vegetables, that's it. What I loved about it was I'm just eating clean, and nothing bad is in here. So if your kid opened this up and, you know, swallowed it, you wouldn't have to pump their stomach because it's not anything that's going to harm them. They might get a little diarrhea, but that's it, okay?
What's the difference between a vitamin and...
Yeah, so a vitamin is very much, you know, it's synthetic, right? So vitamins that we've been taking, and I took a multivitamin for a long time, but every time I took a vitamin, and I don't know any of you guys have had the same experience, it hurt my tummy, and I would have to have food with it, and then I noticed my urine was really yellow. And then when I found out about the difference between whole food and vitamins was when I took the Juice Plus, my urine was clear. And the reason why is when we'll show you a different story on how the Juice Plus is made. But it's once you swallow the Juice Plus and get it in your mouth, it goes right into your bloodstream. It's not one of those that goes through your colon, kid, and then down through your urine and your yellow urine. It absorbs in your body just like food is supposed to. And that's why it's so different than a vitamin. So you're going to get this. This is our trio, what we call a trio. And it breaks down, this is the best ever. It breaks down to $2.38 a day. How many here go to Starbucks and spend how much on a cup of coffee or a chai tea latte, which is my favorite, or anything? And I spend like $4.35 on a chai tea latte, which is a grande, and I don't, you know, recommend that all the time, but it's one of my favorites. And I still have that like craving for sugar a little bit. But when I found out the price for this, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so inexpensive to get all these 30 whole foods. And the best part is the 30 whole foods. Jamie, did you pass these around?
No.
Okay. So when you get a brochure from Jamie, I'm going to show you like the difference between this, but I'll pass this around too. But just think about this. When you read these, when I read each and every one of these, I want you to think about what you get in your body every day. Do you get any of these? Do you get 5 of these? Do you get 10 of these? Do you get 1 of these? This is the thing. When I'm reading this, and the girl was reading it the first time I was doing it, I go, oh man, I might have had broccoli or maybe spinach. But in the orchard, you get apples, cherries, beets, oranges, peaches, pineapple, prunes, papaya, dates, cranberries. How many here eat pretty much a good fruit every day? Do you eat 2 servings? A serving is only half a cup. How about 3? Anybody 3? Okay. So do you eat the same fruits on a daily basis, like an apple, an orange, a banana, all that? And that's not bad, but where's the variety, right? In Juice Plus, you get that variety, so that was like really like yay for me. In the garden, you get beets, broccoli, cabbage, spinach, kale, garlic, carrots, oat bran, barley, tomatoes, garlic. I'm like, okay, I never would eat this because I don't know about you, but I do not like the taste of vegetables. But some do, I know. I'm just a picky eater. How many here are picky eaters? Good, thank you. Thank you. So,
Oh my gosh, she's bad.
So I don't know how Amy is, but I'm really a picky eater, and everybody usually that knows me will sit at the table with me and go, oh my gosh, it's Sally. You know, that Harry met Sally? I am Sally. But anyways, in the Vineyard blend, which is a really cool blend, these are all your berries. How many here eat berries? A lot of berries? Good, good. Berries are actually so good for you. It's good for your cardiovascular, it's good for your brain. So the more berries you get in every day, I want you to eat as many berries as you can. But in the Vineyard blend, we get artichokes, we get bilberries, blackberries, black currant, blueberries, cocoa, Concord grapes, cranberries, elderberries, pomegranate, and raspberries. Can you get all of this in a daily basis?
I don't even know where to find elderberry.
I know, I know.
Or red
And most of this, some of this is seasonal, but in Juice Plus you get it all year round. And we're going to show you a little short film on where our farmlands are and how Juice Plus is processed, which is a really good, it's only a 2-minute film, but it's really cool to know that when you take Juice Plus, you are getting the purest of fruits and veggies and berries that you ever could if you went to your grocery store or even a farmer's market around here. Because ours is even better and organic. So watch this real quick.